What's up, YouTube? I took two trades today, one L, one win, both on NQ. Our winner ended up wiping out all of our losses and put us very nicely green on the day, so let's get right into it. We always got to start off with our higher time frame analysis. Now, we did, like I said, take both of our trades on NQ today, and we have a ton of stack demands beneath us. We still have that gap beneath us at the 29,600s. This is exactly what you see at these all-time high conditions, right? The same way when you sell off heavy, you have a bunch of stacked supplies above you. The exact opposite is true when you're just pumping and pumping and pumping. It's crucial to know which demand zones to actually look for trades off of, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But as you can see here, the two crucial ones that we held was the 28,800s and the 29,744s. So this was the one that we most recently bounced off of. Now, zooming into the lower time frame, because looking at this, you guys already know if you've watched the previous videos, I'm basically just looking for any break retest of a valid supply zone to then inverse into a demand to take long. That's all I've been doing this past month, past 2 months really. April, we didn't have a single day red playing options, and it was just that strategy. So I'm doing the same thing over and over and over until the market tells me, hey, I need to adjust my setup, and then we'll just look for something else. So lower time frame. On the day, I had this pre-market level marked out. I was looking for longs. Now, the first trade, it wasn't bad. I will say, it was not a bad trade. Now, my reads have been accurate just a little bit early lately. So what I like to do when I notice, hey, I'm maybe struggling a bit or market shifting, or I just notice maybe these aren't your ideal conditions, I always like to size down. And sizing down has been so crucial this week, and it has helped me not only be deep red, but actually be green and maintain green. So this is where sizing down is so important. I saw an aggressive participant get filled. I saw an aggressive buyer fill a passive offer above VWAP here on the tape. We hopped in looking to target these pre-market highs, or, at the time that was the high of day. I guess not pre-market. So open highs. Regardless, we were looking to target these highs. If this hit, would have been a very nice 140-point trade. However, we did end up coming down to our demand zone where we were looking to potentially look for a second trade. We had our stop loss beneath our demand level. Unfortunately, we did get wicked out just for it to spike right back up to VWAP. Now, if you traded today, you are aware that we had some news come out regarding President Trump and Iran regarding a deal. And this is what caused us to, pump and pump and pump. We were actually in a long position while this happened, but let's get into the entry first. So on the book map, you just heard me say, oh, we had this deal come out. Now, as we know, the market is clearly not a fair game. Insider trading is always running the market. And this was right before this candle stopped me out. We see a ton of buyers loading up into the market, pumping us right back up, actually filling these passive offers. We see another large buyer step up right here, filling this large passive offer. So buyers are loading into the market. We're kind of just chilling underneath VWAP. And this is the exact opposite of what happened yesterday, to where we'd get slight moves up and then just a seller steps in and tanks us down. So I noticed that and said, hey, we could potentially be having an inverse of yesterday. We're in a valid demand zone. I'm still looking for my longs. Now, what happened here is this is one of my favorite entry triggers, a large passive offer resting in the market, get filled by an aggressive participant. We then had sellers attempt to push us back down. They got completely exhausted. Buyers stepped back up, started to fill above that previous passive offer that got filled. And that's when we looked to enter. We entered with our stop loss at the most recent swing low. Now, we were looking at NQ on the 1 minute just because I like looking at NQ on both the 1 and the 5, just because NQ's order book is so much thinner. It's going to get much larger movements. So I do like to take more trades on NQ with multiple re-entries versus something like ES, to where I'm really paying attention to 5-minute structure and, getting stopped out on ES. I'm going to have to wait a little bit longer for my re-entries versus something like NQ. So that's just, something I do to adapt to, the different indexes. So had a beautiful entry, stop loss at the swing low. Once we reclaimed VWAP, it was really cake from there. We just kept bouncing right off of VWAP, slowly making our way up. Now, the reason why I had actually moved my take profit to the 933 highs instead of the pre-market highs, mind you, I did not know this news was going to come out. If I knew it was going to come out, I would have went much higher size. The reason why is I'd already taken a 47-point loss, And with using this 933 high, this is a potential area in which we could have seen some resistance. It is totally valid for us to have reached this 30,067 and seen some potential resistance. Maybe our TP, gets hit, and then we look to trail runners, and then we get stopped out. Whatever it may be, I'm trading off of structure. Now, not only is that structure there, but I had just taken a loss, and getting fully out of my position for 90 points recoups that loss and puts me up a substantial amount. That's how I like to play my days when I'm in a winning trade on my second trade. When my first trade's a loser, I'm not just going to instantly tilt and go on, revenge trade and all that. No, I'm just going to wait and see if I can get a good second trade, which this second one was much better, and go from there. Now, what would have been really a nice trade is if we saw the reaction off of demand, got the break of VWAP, even though we retested. Once we reclaimed, looking for a similar entry here also could have been valid. Now, on the tape, again, actually waiting and seeing what happens after a large passive offer gets filled in the market is so important. This is one of my favorite entry triggers because when you actually see sellers get exhausted on the way down, this is how you avoid getting faked out when you see a large offer sitting in the market, it gets filled, and then instantly price reverses off of that. You never know what's going to happen when an offer gets filled, so this is why you just simply have to wait and gauge the reaction afterwards. I'm super happy with today. Like I said, we took 2 trades. Everything was based off of our pre-market plan. This got sent out to them at 9 a.m. Higher time frame structure. We are still extremely bullish. I'm not so sure why everyone is, panicking in regards to this selling. I mean, we're having barely any, the days that we're moving down, the volume is nowhere as substantial as the days that we're moving up. So higher time frame structure, higher time frame volume analysis is key. Other than that, I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I will catch y'all tomorrow.